Next fool, we command in the block. Burgundy and gold, got the city on lock. Hustling plays, they don't need to pretend. DC reppin' strong and we fight to the end. Command is moving, no breaks, no pause. Hands in the dirt, respecting the call. K-Dot in the mid, dissect the grind. District divider with a city in mind. Trying to dance why, don't miss a bit. And you gotta spread the word, so shit is shit. K-Dot.
Welcome everyone to District Divided, a DC Sports podcast. More specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Amit. That is K-Dot. And this episode, we already did the All-22 review. K-Dot, you did a splendid job with that. This is just a preview episode, a prediction episode where we take on the Las Vegas Raiders Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We are going to talk about the game, our offense with Jayden Daniels, with Marcus Mariota against this Las Vegas Raiders defense. And then the other side of it, Geno Smith, Ashton Genty, and that Raiders offense against our defense. We give our predictions, and then we go to the common mailbag as we always do. So before we begin this episode, if you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do. And K-Dot.
Vegas in town, the silver and black. But our boys going to cook and keep the train on track. O-line got a hole. Keep the pocket legit.
Breaking news. Police say they close to revealing the origin of the rampage the other night in Southwest D.C. Very reminiscent of similar recurring events in Clarendon. We're awaiting an update from the Metropolitan Police, and we'll bring it to you as soon as we have it. Brock Lombard with District Divided News. Back to the show.
All right. Not sure what that was all about, but okay.
Me neither.
Huh. All right, where was I? O-line got a hole. Keep the pocket legit. Y'all know the deal, baby. Now share this wit.
Share this wit to the best of your ability without that clip in the middle. We're sorry about that. I have no idea what that was about.
Like it was important, though.
It didn't seem that important.
You're in DC, so I mean,
I am, but I just saw the bottom end, and I was like, well, that's not true. So I don't really know what that was about.
I didn't read the scroll. I don't know.
I'll tell you what is true though. This injury report that we're about to dive into over here, K-Dot. So once again, it's Commanders against the Raiders. Raiders on short rest. They had the Monday night game against the Chargers. They lost 20-9. They now travel across the country. We had the mini bye, as people call it. We had played Thursday night, and now we host on a regular Sunday. So without further ado, let's dive into that injury report, K-Dot, beginning with our Commanders. And you can see some big names here, right? First and foremost, Jayden Daniels not practicing. And as of right now, so giving away the time we record, he's currently not being seen on the practice field. So that leans towards Marcus Mariota. Then you have John Bates and Noah Brown not practicing. Dan Quinn calling them a long shot to play. So we're already pretty depleted. Deebo, excused for personal reasons, nothing to worry about over there. Trey Amos limited, but anticipate him playing. And the rest of the guys, full participants, they should be good to go. Looking at the Las Vegas Raiders now. Over here, K-Dot. Brock Bowers limited. He's going to be fine. He's going to play. Jeremy Chin, that's a name we're familiar with. Limited with a pectoral injury. He's likely to play as well. And the other guy's full. So it's a largely healthy team. Jackson Powers Johnson is the name I want you guys to pay attention to. He did not play against the LA Chargers. And Alex Kappa, who is his backup, did not do particularly well in his absence. He will be back. He was there for their week 1 win. He was not there for their week 2 loss. He's back for week 3, and we'll see what comes of it. So now let's go over to our offense featuring likely Marcus Mariota, as you can see. Well done there, K-Dot, against the Las Vegas Raiders defense. So diving into the Marcus Mariota revenge game, K-Dot. Over to you. The floor is yours. What matchups are we exploiting? Anything you're nervous about with Mariota likely the starter this Sunday?
I'm nervous about anything, regardless if Jayden were to play or not, right? So, like, if Jayden were to play, we'd be talking about this as like the is this his get right game? Is this the game that he starts putting the pieces together, the offense starts looking good, and we can move on, move forward? With Marcus Mariota, it's like, can we survive this without the best player on our team? Even though the best player on our team has not been playing like the best player on our team. Well, maybe he has, but that says more about the team than it does about him. Whatever. So, yeah, that. Look, if Jayden plays, I think the focus is going to be, can you stop people from blitzing us? Can you do that? Can you just make sure that's the case? And that's the only thing I care about. If Mariota plays, I'll get more into detail as far as what it is the game plan is going to be. And actually, I do think to a certain degree, I know it's going to sound stupid. It's going to sound crazy saying this because we all know the talent that Jayden Daniels is. But I actually do think Mariota has, at this particular point in time, with where the offense is right now, I do think that he brings something that could spark the offense at least in the right direction. Like, instead, at the end of the day, you still need Jade to get as far as timing and stuff down. But right now, you need, like we've seen in the last 2 games, you need the veteran presence to see that first window and to take that shot, right? Take what the defense gives them. Just kind of move down the field, just try to get some positive plays. And I think that's what Mariota can kind of bring to the table. I'm excited about the prospect of seeing him, especially after knowing how hurt he's been over the course of the last how many months going back to training camp, or everything, like how rusty is he? Right. How rusty is he? But I think there are some things as far as doing stuff with the quick game that's going to be able to, they could look good with Mariota and take advantage of some of the early stuff I've seen as far as some of the receivers being open, especially with the defense and in Vegas, it likes to play zone, likes to leave those areas and everything and opportunities to have open. But all right, on offense, I mean, the big matchup, the thing that everybody has to be worried about is the best player on the Vegas defense, which is Max Crosby. What the hell are you going to do? We saw what Micah Parsons was able to do to Josh Connolly, and not just Josh Connolly, but basically the entirety of the offensive line at some point in time. Laremy Tunsil really the only person to put together like a solid game through and through. But with Max Crosby, I mean, if you start looking at some of the tape of the Raiders, like Mike is a matchup nightmare in the sense that he can line up anywhere, but Max really lines up everywhere, right? Like there's some times where it's like, all right, he's the edge, but he's 56 feet off the side of, and you're like, why are you there? Oh, he's fast enough. He's got a stride. He can do whatever it is he wants to do. So the big thing for me is, all right, what's going to happen as far as the Connolly piece when it comes to Max Crosby? He could be an absolute game wrecker. Like, we know we're going to have Marcus Mariota, who can't run anywhere near as fast as Jayden Daniels. So we know that that's escapability is not going to exist. So if Max Crosby gets the free lane and gets the free run, he's going to be teeing off on Marcus Mariota. So what can you do as far as the Josh Connolly piece? The other thing, as far as the injury report, the only thing that I really care about as far as the injury report outside of Jayden Daniels is the thing that I've been stressing, which is the John Bates injury, right? John Bates usually being a guy that you could send over there to help chip, help just provide some sort of coverage there for him. And with him most likely not playing in this game, what are you going to do to try to make up for that? I think that there's a combination of things that what was that look?
No, I'm listening. There's no look.
I don't trust you. Yeah, the Southwest DC thing. Some things are kicking in my head. I'm starting to make sense. Okay. What are you going to do to help out? Now, I've been talking about whether or not you should have the Connerly, Andrew Wiley, like rotation thing happening, right? Because of what it is I've seen from Connerly. But I also said, when you look at the tape, the one thing you notice about Connerly above all other things is that, like, when you get a lot of offensive linemen that might be getting beat, you can see the confidence kind of lose. You can see them not necessarily trying as hard. You don't see that with Connerly. He's still trying his ass off. So maybe there's a possibility that they just got to leave him out there. Provide help, but leave him out there because the confidence piece might even rock him more if you take him out of the game. Because right now, I don't see anything on the confidence piece that's like lacking. I just don't want our quarterback getting hit as much as Connolly's allowing that to happen. But he's getting better, and you got to kind of have him out there to play. So if you're going to help him out, what do? I think this is an opportunity for Cliff Kingsbury to be a little more clever than we've seen the first 2 weeks. So I wouldn't mind seeing a lot of things that you see some other teams do. I've seen Buffalo do it. I know I've seen Miami do it, which is let's bring a 6th lineman in, guys. Like Andrew Wiley as that 6th lineman in certain situations. Spice it up. Like get some things going as far as that. Show them different looks. I think it actually with Marcus Mariota is the same thing that we saw last year. I think what's going to be kind of secretly a thing that maybe everybody's not looking out for is I think you're going to see a lot of design quarterback runs with Marcus Mariota. And I think that it's something you saw like you were kind of like, hold on, is this the same offense, Jade? But they're asking Mariota to kind of move a lot. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of that sort of thing. And when you have an Andrew Wiley in there to kind of help out on that side to kind of take care of Max Crosby, if he's lined up on the outside, I think that it could help tremendously, especially looking at things in the red zone. If you're really trying to establish the run, especially if Chris Rodriguez is getting some play to really just hammer at him. You need help there. Other ways, Ben Sinnott in motion, kind of helping, snapping the ball while he's in motion to kind of be the up back to do what it is he can do to block or to do something in the inside or anything as far as the sweeps or whatever. Just get Ben Sinnott involved on the move. He's best on the move as far as when it comes to any sort of blocking aspects. Beyond that, as far as like just the pure help from Josh Connolly, it's what else that happens in the game and the things that I think that Mariota could do really well, which is get rid of the damn football, get rid of it quick.
Boom bap,
right? So like. That should be something that they're taking full advantage of. Like I said, they play a lot of zone from what it is that I saw. I didn't really see the number. I couldn't find coverage numbers for some reason this week.
I can try and pull them up from the last ones I had.
So I was just kind of going off of what I saw and someone say, but you also know that we're 2 weeks in, and like even week 1 to week 2 did not necessarily look the same for them. So it's like the sample size is really weird. So I don't know what they're going to do. I do know that what I have heard about their defense is that they run their base defense when they're coming up against 11 personnel more than any other team in the league. And we run more 11 personnel than any other team in the league. But the thing is, when they're in their base defense, get 11 personnel, they give up like less than 3 yards of play. So,
by the way, it's 93% zone for the Raiders.
I was right. So that goes into those
shocking
things.
Number.
But that goes into those things that I'm saying as far as Mariota and getting rid of the football. I saw a lot of meat on the bone last week with Jayden Daniels, and I don't think before we even started the episode, me and you were talking about like what the preview was going to look like for me, and it's Green Bay but worse.
Right.
And across like a lot of lines, it's Green Bay but worse. And I do think that there's going to be some opportunities if they get the ball out quick for Deebo Samuel, for Zach Ertz to do some yak stuff, for Terry McLaurin to do some yak stuff. I put your hard hat on. This should be like a physical game, and if it's not, then I don't know what it'll look like.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And the quick thing that I want to say is that Zach Ertz, Deebo Samuel are the names I have circled here, K-Dot, because we're talking about zone, right? And we talked about how many opportunities Deebo Samuel had in the all-22 review against Green Bay, right? So We're seeing more zone. This is Green Bay, but worse. Take advantage of that. It's going to make it easier for your quarterback as well, who I do anticipate being Marcus Mariota at this point. And also, considering the struggles against zone for Jayden, and he's so much better against man typically, I don't necessarily mind this for a week while Jayden gets better, right? Like, leave it to the vet, who, whenever he's been asked to step in, has done well so far, and it's an AFC opponent. So I'm cool with this being Marcus Mariota, and I'm assuming it's going to be Marcus Mariota. Zach Ertz, another zone beater right there. Does Ben Sinnott get more involved? The run game. Now, K-Dot, this is credit to you, right? John Bates was the guy you wanted us to re-sign more than anybody else, and the front office agreed with you. 3 years, $21 million. Looks like he's not going to play. So that 6 lineman, cool. What does our run game look like? Austin Ekeler is now gone. So it's going to be Bill. It's going to be Jeremy McNichols, and very likely Chris Rodriguez being activated. What is that going to look like to be able to help people out? I'm nervous about it because the Raiders are good at stopping the run so far. Omarion Hampton, 8 carries, 24 yards, for example. Najee Harris, 8 carries, 28 yards. Not a whole lot better. And the Chargers pride themselves on being able to run the ball. So they're not really able to. Same thing with New England as they're trying to get their stuff going. They're trying to run the ball. Not much success there. So it's going to have to be Mariota. It's going to have to be tough runs that maybe are just 3-4 yards, but you're supporting your quarterback there who's in relief. Mind you, yes, he's a vet, but like, got to help him out. So I look at those two. And then does Terry have himself a bomb? Right? Like, is there an opportunity to be able to hit Terry deep? Because it is a couple weeks. And come week 3 last season, Terry finally erupted. I'm looking at his snap percentages up and up and up and up and up. He seems fine to me, just based on what I'm seeing there, based on what I'm seeing in the games. Terry looks damn near 100%.
I think he has more yards for the first 2 games this year.
I think he did last year. Right. Yeah, actually. So, like, it's not necessarily ahead of schedule from that perspective, but definitely from a fitness perspective, like, he is good to go. It looks like he looks totally fine. So can we get Terry involved? Those are my takeaways, K-Dot. And then looking defensively, you're going to see, if you guys end up looking up previews and stuff like that Jonah Laulu, one of their defensive tackles, has 3 sacks. You're going to be like, look out for that guy.
Yeah.
2 of them were coverage sacks. And the other, I think, should have been credited to Max Crosby. I don't really know why it wasn't credited to Max
Everything
Crosby.
on the defense should be crashed.
And that's the thing. So just because you see the sack number doesn't mean that's the most dangerous player.
Right.
It's Max Crosby. And I'm very curious to see, to your point, K-Dot, do we add a 6th lineman? I think it's smart so that Connerly can play the whole game. It's like, oh, Wiley's just here to help because he's a premier edge rusher versus maybe even rotating him. So like your analysis there. What happened now?
I just got a text from the biggest Raider fan I know, James, who's been on the podcast.
Yeah.
He's like, please don't look at number 66 from the all-20.
He tweeted, and by the way, I did. And we'll be getting to that momentarily. That's on the other side of the ball. Dylan Parham. Yeah, he's definitely getting a bit of a shout out. So any other thoughts here, K-Dot, on this side of the ball?
Yeah, man, I hear you with the run game, and I want the run game to be established. I mean, I think that I think this is maybe the Bill coming out party. Like, let's say speedster, try to do something. Like, hopefully that's the thing. But I really do think it's going to be the quick game. I do think that, like, as far as the rushing attack, I think the most important piece of this rushing attack going in this week is actually Marcus Mariota. I think RPOs. I think actually under center keepers. I think that like they've got to do some stuff to actually keep that defense honest. That hey, just because Jade's not here doesn't mean we're going to do this still. And that's one of the reasons we had Mariota in the first place, is that he could do this, right? He can run the football. Like that's something that he's done his entire career. And I really do want to lean on this. But like Terry McLaurin, not just on those deep balls, like I slants, digs, curls, all of them. Throw Terry at these guys. I actually think there should be a lot of situations, especially in his zone defense, that we see Terry and Deebo stacked on one side of the field. Throw them both at him. Have them both one run deep, one run shallow. Just try to figure out where it is you can beat that zone. And have Marcus Mariota, as soon as you see that window, take advantage.
Let me ask you this, because we were talking about it in the All-22 review. Is this the Luke McCaffrey game? Right, because we talk about zone beaters.
I'm not calling it anymore. I want it to be.
And
I
know,
do think
but that's why Mariota, we're so brave as a podcast. Are we doing it?
Look, I actually do think Mariota, because we're talking about Mariota, it's a double-edged sword as far as Luke McCaffrey piece, right? If we are able to give Mariota some time, just a little bit of time, where he can get from his first read to maybe a second window or third window, hopefully, then I do think you have a situation where if he can trust what his eyes are seeing, Luke McCaffrey could eat like some bitch, right? I just don't think Jayden does that. So, like, I do think that there's an opportunity for that. But there's also, Luke McCaffrey tries his route running. I do think he's getting better. But once again, you look at those situations where it looks like he's open. I'm not entirely sure if he's running the crispest route. And if we're looking at it from a timing piece with Marcus Mariota, knowing this Cliff Kingsbury, and like knowing what it is he's going to do, if Luke's not in the right spot, he's not going to get the ball, right? So, like, that's something that's going to, if we're going to have to be quick about it because Matt Crosby breathing down our necks, then we get rid of the damn football. So, like, right. I'd love it to be, but I think every week we go in here expecting or not expecting, but hoping that either Luke or Ben are going to take off, or even a Jalen Lane game, which I actually think is also a kind of sneaky pick for this one. I just think that there's going to be some opportunities, especially with Noah Brown being in the situation he's in. Like, we need somebody to step up. There needs to be a playmaker. I mean, we know what Terry can do. We know what Deebo can do. I don't think we've been able to take advantage of it recently, but I do think that Marcus Mariota is uniquely positioned because of the player he is and because of his familiarity with this offense and his veteran presence to just take what the defense is giving you. Because I'll tell you right now, in those short windows that Green Bay gave us, could have changed. I don't know if it would change the outcome of the game, but it absolutely would have brought it much closer.
Could have changed the flow at minimum. Yeah,
it would have absolutely done that. And when you have a team like Green Bay, which we were always kind of in the dance, then it ends up looking like maybe one of those games last year where you sneak away with one. And and you sneak away with a Green Bay win, knowing the NFC, the playoffs, and everything else, that's huge.
I will say this, Ben Sinnott, right? 2 very impactful catches last year. Mm-hmm. One against the Philadelphia Eagles on the fake punt from Tressway. The other, his very first touchdown, that was from Marcus Mariota against the Carolina Panthers. So maybe an opportunity for Ben to be able to show up in this game. Yeah, hey, why not? Why not?
I'll get 50 in a tutty.
50. Oh, that'd be nice. Like that a lot. Let's go ahead and flip the script, K-Dot. Let's talk about Geno Smith and Ashton Genty, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and this Raiders offense against our Commanders defense, who lost Deatrich Wise, for the season. Wishing him all the best in his recovery, obviously. But he is now out of that rotation. And we did pick up Preston Smith. A little blast from the past. We did pick him up. So we'll see if he gets any action or maybe just a little bit of action in this first game as he gets used to the defense over here. Get on this side of the ball.
Yep.
What are you looking to exploit? What are you worried about?
I am looking to see, remember, week 1, world beers, defensive line. Week 2, I see Dorrance Armstrong. I don't see the rest of you guys. Week 3, what does it look like? Now, this is where you got some opportunities, but you had opportunities last week and you didn't take advantage of them. So, because look, how excited were we that Zach Tom wasn't playing?
Thrilled. Aaron Banks too. They're both missing. Oh my God. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, they didn't eat, right? They didn't take advantage of it. But I do think actually here at this particular point, Dylan Parham in the inside, but I'll let you talk about him. I don't want to single anybody out particular. I at least want to talk about like 2 or 3 guys. But those tackles, the tackles there for Vegas have allowed a lot of pressures this year. Pulling back the numbers.
The guards.
The guards. Colton Miller and DJ Clays.
Oh, they're also allowing pressures. For whatever reason, my numbers are slightly different. But if they're allowing pressures too, this is great.
They've allowed 18 pressures already. Colton at 7, DJ at 11.
Please continue.
Because
I got the guard numbers. So this line sucks.
Right? So this to me is, and looking at Dorrance Armstrong, 13 pressures on 52 rushes so far this season. So this is one of those situations where Vaughn, Preston, hey, you want to revitalize the career, buddy? I know you've been pissed. Yeah. You've been pissed you didn't get signed, right? This is your opportunity to show out, man. Like, end your career here in the burgundy and gold. Like, this is going to be an opportunity. I think Dorrance Armstrong to me is the one I'm really looking at more than anybody else. He's the guy week in and week out that's looked the absolute most consistent. Like, he did, and going back to last year, I mean, I liked him over Fowler. Like, I was very excited about the prospect of Dorrance Armstrong, knowing what it is he looked like in that Cowboy jersey. It was just like, he felt like that Louvu piece where it was like, oh, he needs more opportunities. And I think that Dorrance Armstrong is kind of coming to his own. I don't think it was somebody that we, before the season, like circled probably as much as we needed to. But I do think he's going to have some opportunities. And I would expect them to line him up a lot all over the place. I think the Preston Smith other thing, as far as like the big body types, line them up all over the place. I think that's going to be a huge thing. So that's where I think you have an opportunity to really eat, right? Because the other thing is that, like, we talk about this being Green Bay, but worse, right? Ashton Jeanty. I know.
I kind of wish you didn't, honestly.
I know. I didn't know how I wanted to go about it.
Fair enough.
It just sounds wrong. They wanted to get him established, and he hasn't necessarily gotten established just yet. But so right now, what you have in this offense is they're running to run, but what they really care about doing is setting up the play action and taking those shots down the field, which is what Geno Smith's been doing a lot of. It did not work out for him last week at all. I think I have the numbers there for Geno. Oh, yeah. Pushing the ball and paying for it. 9 of 26 on throws of 10 yards or more for 219 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 picks. You get some opportunities. If you can get, in week 2, he went 0 for 12 downfield with 3.
Wasn't pretty on Monday night.
No. So, like, that's one of those situations where, like I said, if you can get the pressure kind of going and get Geno Smith, and what they're trying to do is, like, throw that ball down the field. This is your Trey Amos. This is Marshawn Lattimore. I'm still rooting for you. You need to prove him right.
I would hope you're rooting for him.
I'm rooting. Yeah, I'm rooting.
That's
for
what
him.
I mean.
I'm rooting for him. But there's a reason Trey Amos is down there on the graphic and not anybody else.
He looks good. I started reviewing as well. I was like, whoo, got a guy.
He looks good. So this is one of those. I think you're going to have some opportunities. More than anything we've seen so far this year, you're going to have some opportunities. They don't have anyone like the thing in the New York game that we were kind of worried about was the bomb from us to Malik Neighbors, and Malik Neighbors can go and track that down without being mean. Vegas doesn't have that. Like, they don't have that guy. Even if you're looking at what it is that Green Bay does, which is like Green Bay. I've heard people say this, and I've had this conversation with my friend Brendan a lot, but it was Green Bay has the world's biggest plethora of number 2 receivers in the league, and number 2 receivers in the sense of, like, none of their guys are true ones. Maybe Golden ends up being the one, but they'll burn your ass downfield, and they'll attract the football downfield, and that's what they do. That's why Jordan Love can eat that way, right? This is not the same thing. These guys are not that talented on that level. Doesn't mean they still won't burn you. Doesn't mean if you're still out of position or a lot of things that have happened the last couple of weeks happen, they won't. Geno Smith's looking for his get right game too, guys. So, like, that's not something I just, like, sneeze at. But all of that pales in comparison to the thing that I'm actually worried about, and the thing I know you're worried about, which is those goddamn tight ends. The play that I looked at, that I went over with the all 22, actually, another guy who does a really good job breaking down film. He's one of the guys that, like, I think I line up probably with the most, and he's one of the dudes that, like, after I do the all 22, I love to dive into what it is. It was Mark Bullock. He looked at that play in which the tight end last week, Kraft, burnt the shit out of us on that seam. And looking at it again, I wasn't entirely sure who it was I was putting the blame on as far as whose responsibility it was. But after really looking at it, it was completely on Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
It's on Bob. So, like, I don't expect to see anything like that 2 weeks in a row from Bobby Wagner. But I also think, once again, the responsibilities have to be in line as far as the communication on this, because they are going to run that exact same seam concept to try to get them open and up the field. They're going to be running that at you, because Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer can both eat. These were two guys that I was really, really high on when it came to drafts. Michael Mayer, I think, was like Michael Mayer and Joe Out. Notre Dame, it's my least favorite college. Like, I hate them.
You love all their prospects. Remember Kyle Hamilton? That's a Notre Dame guy.
Brother, trust me, I'm in the loop. I'm right about this. Like, if you're a Notre Dame guy and I say that I like you, no,
Surefire stud.
Probably stop.
Surefire stud.
Go get that guy.
Not admitting it. Yeah.
They're always my favorite guys. Brock Bowers is a freak. Michael Mayer is a freak too. He just hasn't been able to really show his freak flag yet because of stuff that was happening off the field or anything the last couple of years. But if we have any sort of miscommunication on this end, I'll tell you right now, the two guys I'm looking at to make up for what it is, or the three guys I'm looking at to make up for what happened last week, is Will Harris, Mike Sanderstill, and Bobby Wagner. All three of those guys cannot have anywhere near a repeat of what it is they had last week. And when it comes to the responsibility, if they're chipping on the side as far as the tight end before they do the block and release stuff, I need to know whose assignment is what. If they got the running back in the flat, who's got it? Or who's going to let that go? Who's got the tight end over the top? In my opinion, I'm keeping Will Harris, or maybe I don't play Will Harris as much unless it's going to talk about the run game, but I'm making sure I got a safety over the top, ready to key in on any one of those tight ends at any given point in time. And I'll sacrifice some of that to make sure that I have that coverage in play. I need to make sure these tight ends can't burn us, because these guys will absolutely murder you.
I want to say Brock Bowers already, K-Dot, best tight end in the NFL.
As far as like from a physical tools, that it's very hard to say no. I still put Kittle just because the complete
on IR.
package.
So how about active tight end? Like gonna play this week.
Tight end is such a weird position right now, because it's like I almost want to say that like it's not that great, but it's also the greatest it's ever been. Like there's this, everybody's like at this level where they got all these maybe I was right about tight end being a really important position. You know what? I'm a prophet.
I'll give it to you today. Because it's your side piece team. Otherwise, come on. But
I'm just saying, you look around the league, the tight ends end up being a really, really important piece. And Brock Bowers is, if you argue that he's the best tight end actively right now, I wouldn't counter it.
And that's more the point, is that the answer is not an immediate no. It's at minimum a conversation, or he is, right? And he's a different breed from Tucker Kraft, who is a good player. He is a good tight end. This guy is different. So we absolutely need to figure out. I believe Joe Witt said we need to treat him like a receiver. It's true, because he's strong. He's very, very fast. And then you got Michael Mayer as the other guy that you then need to put another person on. So it is very, very important that we cover those guys and leave it to our corners to be able to take care of a Jacoby Myers, right? A Trey Tucker who can slip in. He scored a nice long touchdown against the New England Patriots. And I believe Dante Thornton is the other name. Yeah, rookie, fourth-round rookie over there. So first and foremost, Ashton Genty, I anticipate us continuing to do a nice job against the run. We did a nice job against Green Bay. Against the run, we did a nice job against the New York Giants. So first off, run defense, kudos. So far, so good. It's been great, because last year it was an Achilles heel.
Yep.
I anticipate they continue to be able to do well. Dylan Parham, 66. James, thanks for the tip. Didn't need it, though, because watching these Raiders, it was incredibly obvious from the jump. This guy is going through a pretty hard time, K-Dot. Through 2 games, he has 9 pressures allowed, 5 hurries, 3 quarterback hits, a sack, and 3 penalties. Okay, so he's going through a bit of a tough time. Jackson Powers-Johnson's going to be the other guy who's a bit more stable. If for whatever reason he's like not fully over the concussion, or like something happens or something like that, Alex Kappa comes back in. He allowed a sack. He allowed 4 pressures. So this interior line, not very good. You had mentioned the guards and the tackles, their pressures, right? Like, this is an opportunity for the defensive line. And one name I want to mention, and 2 things about him. Number 1, Frankie Louvu, happy birthday. Hope you have an awesome day and an amazing celebration. And come Sunday, Frankie, through 2 games, haven't seen a whole lot other than missed tackles. 31% of his tackles attempted have been missed.
Yeah.
That is not the Frankie Louvu we all love and know, right? This is a golden opportunity. The interior line should be able to get some push. It's going to allow Vaughn, Dorrance, etc. to be able to do their thing. And if you blitz with Frankie, You need to get there. This is your game more than anybody else's, in my opinion. So Frankie Louvu's the guy that I'm like, hey, we had 2 All-Pros at linebacker last season. I've seen one of them with 21 tackles. Yes, the blown coverage, but overall had a good start. I need to see the other one, the younger one, the Joker, the one that, we talk about the Micah Parsons role in the Dan Quinn defense. Frankie, that's you. And then Quan Martin. This is an opportunity. 4 interceptions for Geno Smith. He's thrown picks in every game so far. You're the ball hawk. I think that there's going to be an opportunity for Quan Martin to be able to shadow somewhere, be able to get a pick. We need to win the turnover battle playing a backup QB, a veteran solid backup QB, but a backup nonetheless. Kid, you had a reaction. Go ahead.
Keep going. I'm sorry. It was rude. I used a vicious.
No. I mean, I've said my piece on the defensive side. Stopping the run, I think, is going to happen. That means Frankie Louvu is going to get opportunities to be able to get to Geno Smith. And then it is Quan Martin hovering around, making sure he gets an opportunity because Geno will give you an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with all that. The only the thing that I would say that I push back on it all is I do want that for Frankie Louvu. It's something I was going into the season looking for. But right now, through the first 2 weeks of the season, the only guy that I care about where it is they line him up, and I want them to line him up everywhere, is Dorrance Armstrong. I want him to be the piece.
He's been fantastic so far.
And I think that this game, with the opportunities given at guard and at tackle, I'm lining him all over the line. And my goal in this game is get him started early. I want to pressure every 3 to 4 rushes. Like I want that. I need Dorrance Armstrong to be the guy that they are doing things, stunts, all kinds of stuff to free him. I need him free because that's the only guy right now consistently that's making the quarterback's life a living hell and be able to do it kind of on his own. If they can help him out or start designing things to get him free, I think that could be. I really do think when you look and say Dorrance Armstrong has the ability right now, if this defense can just step it up just a level, just a little bit, especially compared to last year, Pro Bowl.
Given how well, so. Maybe I'm doing a bit of a stretch because the Green Bay game was not a good reflection on our defensive line, but I think it's at least on par with the New England Patriots defensive line. I think it is on par with the Khalil Mack-less Chargers defensive line. You're at home. You should be able, you got the home crowd with you. You should be able to generate some pressure here against the guys who are also on a bit of short rest. So I'm looking at them and I like the shout for Dorrance Armstrong to be the guy freed up to be able to get at Geno. Yeah.
I'm not going that far yet, as far as from a talent standpoint yet with this D line. I saw what I saw in the New York game. If what I saw was real in the New York game, then it's sky's the limit. That Green Bay game showed me that there were even some like what we said as far as the injuries they had in the offensive line meant nothing, right?
Nothing.
In that game.
That's so, true. Nothing.
So so I don't look. On paper, you had half the league laughing at us because of the contract they gave Ken Law. You look at Eddie Goldman or whoever else we got, and they're like, all right, I guess you guys are doing that, right? Then we see week 1, and it's like, oh, we proved all of them wrong. Week 2 is like, oh, I'm not sure. Y'all got to show it to me, man. I'm not ready to say exactly where it is this D-line is because I've seen 2 completely different things. And I know that looking at the Green Bay game, like you can look at some things and say, all right, it wasn't terrible. The run defense is something maybe I'm even taking for granted at this point just because of the big bodies. But I need you to do more than that, especially like if you get to a point, with the run defense at this point from what it is I've seen through the first 2 weeks, I might give you credit for being able to do it, but okay, this to be expected now. Like I'm past this. Can we make sure we're getting pressure on the quarterback? Can we make sure we're helping out the corner?
Right. I'll give, and maybe I shouldn't, but I know I have rose-tinted glasses on here, a bit of spin zone. Like, hey, it was a short week for the oldest team in the league. It just came out flat against an emotionally charged Green Bay. That's the best spin I can put on it, right? But now with the rest, which D-line are you? Are you the week 1? Right. Or are you the week 2? I would, if I had to bet, it's the week 1. We'll see. We'll see, but I am cautiously optimistic over there. Any final thoughts here, Kate, before we move to
only thing as far as the defense, like I said, as far as Matt, to me, outside of Dorrance Armstrong, what the defensive line is, the big thing for me is the Mike Sanders still, Will Harris, Bobby Wagner piece as far as Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. That game can be completely lost if that doesn't happen. I need contact at 5. I need passing off the crossers, making sure that you guys have the proper communication line, who's responsible for what, and it cap the fucking seam.
And you know what?
The fucking seam.
Please, because that was an inexcusable catch and run for Tucker Kraft, who career day basically because of that. My final note, just talking about handling the crossers and communicating. Look, I've given a lot of bail to Marshawn Lattimore, but I'm also going to be fair. This is an opportunity, man. Like, it really is. You've gone against Malik Neighbors. Fine. Then they ran some man beaters on you.
Yep.
Fine. It's Jacoby Myers. He's a good player. He is not the caliber of player you've been going against. If you can't do it against this guy, the questions are just going to continue to just come in and flow in. This is a perfect opportunity at home to be able to silence some of the doubters, maybe even get a pick, deflect a couple passes. It's a real nice opportunity for multiple players on this defense that have gotten off to slow starts.
Agreed.
The Raiders have only scored, like, they got 20 in their win and they got 9 last week. So it's not this high powered offense. Can be though, if we screw up. But as of now, they're still finding themselves. Perfect spot here. Let's go ahead and go over to our predictions, K-Dot. So we're 1-1. The Raiders are 1-1. You and I are 1-1. And the line is, despite Jayden likely being out, and I'll look for an update to see if he's somehow limited privately, but in the media portion, he was not available of practice. The line is 3 points. We are favored. The over-under is 43.5. And as always, K-Dot, from you, I need a score. I need a winner. And I need a player of the game.
I do think that there's a legitimate chance Jayden plays. I don't want it to happen, though.
I also think that there is, but the more him not being available for practice, and until I see a limited, I think he will be limited, but I think they may actually sit him for this one.
I'm hoping, man. I don't want him out there if he's not 100%. And
if there's a re-injury risk, I wouldn't put him out there.
To me, it's the ceiling trade, right? So we're going into this week with a ceiling trade. No one can do what Jayden Daniels could do on a football field. That being said, last week he couldn't do the things that made him special. Going into this week, I do think it matters a whole hell of a lot, especially with what's happening with Josh Conley, especially what's happening as far as the run game, as far as what's happening with everything, that it's more important right now to get the damn ball out of the quarterback's hands. And I do think Mariota is positioned to do that. I also think Vegas is pretty reckless with the deep ball. And if we can get Dorrance Armstrong and that D-line just working modicum better than what it did last week, I think you could have an opportunity. And I think a turnover is the thing that could change this game. Marcus Mariota, looking at you too. A turnover could be the thing that changes this game.
True.
Right now, I'm going to say that it's going us. We get it happen. Dorrance Armstrong make those tackles and the guard look like shit. But we still just eke it out. 2017, Washington, player of the game. Give me Marcus Mariota.
Okay.
No turnovers, actually having a pretty good day. Not crazy numbers, but I mean high efficiency.
Well, I'm not a big fan of this, but you and I have the exact same score and winner. So I was going to deviate, but I have listed here
1 and 2 coming here, guys.
Yeah. That's typically not a good sign. But 20-17 Commanders, a lower scoring game. Raiders still trying to figure out their offense. Matt Gay makes his kicks. We don't trot him out from 50 plus. You know, it's a couple 40 yarders basically. My player of the game on the defensive side, I think it'll be Frankie Louvu. Based on what you're saying, though, K-Dot, Dorrance Armstrong might be it. You definitely sold me on that. He's definitely been our best lineman so far, in my opinion, over the course of 2 games. I think Deron Payne was awesome game 1, but then where was he game 2? Frankie Louvu finally erupts. He's player of the game, forces a fumble. That's the turnover. We win 20-17. All right. And with that, we go over to the comment mailbag featuring an intro from our very own Nikki.
DC police have given us this security cam still of the rampage on Main Ave. While they haven't identified the gentleman seen here, Clarendon residents seem familiar. We'll let you know when we have more. But please stay away from this individual. Hide your women. Hide your kids. Hide any white powdery substance. May God help us all.
Featuring an intro from our very own Nikki.
Mailbag time, motherfuckers. District divided, ain't got time for no suckers. Spread the word, get in line. OGs and new G's, it's your time. And spread the gospel, cause this shit is divine.
All right, thank you as always for that intro, Kata. And I do wish we were going live. Stay safe out there. I don't know who that was. I don't even know if it's real or not. AI is very powerful these days, but
It sounds familiar.
We're gonna publish this soon. So beginning with Coach. Shout out Coach. I like the new show format with the clapping emoji. K-Dot, once again, I've said it. It's not just gassing you up. I think you were absolutely awesome in that all 22 review. It was fun getting in depth like we did, able to ask questions. You had answers for each and every one. That was super cool. Great job, man.
Thank you. It was work, but fun. And I do like the fact that we kind of split these out. It kind of makes the show themselves kind of flow a little bit better instead of like rushing from one thing to the other. So I am a fan of it.
Yeah. And Earl Bruce also mentions, oh, my stars and garters. 2 shows a week in 2 weeks. Y'all are putting in the work. I'm loving it, guys. Thanks. With 2 thumbs up on that. So we got some fans over there. Appreciate you, Earl.
They're on Sunday, and we can be scheduled.
Correct. It's going to be a lot easier once we could do it that way. And then we go over to MF Quotes. Shout out. Does Jordan Reed count as a star? Because he's my pick. I tell you what. So Spencer Brudig, former co-host of the show, and huge fan of his as well, had asked, what non-star would you put on this Commanders roster right now? So the big question actually is, does Jordan Reed count as a star? Because if he does not, I think that's a very good pick, K-Dot.
He's a star. I mean, when he had that run where he did look like top 3, he was easily top 5, but he almost had these moments where he almost looked top 3 in the league. But this is also like an era in which he had some like Hall of Famers in the league as well. So, I mean, it was a really, really, really high ceiling. He's cusp. I mean, I guess he's not a superstar because he didn't for the longevity piece, but it's also like, I don't know. If John Jansen counted, then I guess Jordan Reed should be able to count. Yeah,
I would agree with that. I think you can slip that one in because I think it's borderline, and I honestly think it's such a good answer to the question to just give it to you there.
I also don't want to hear you say slip anything in.
Okay. Coach Lombard also goes, the upside to so many injuries in Washington this week is the ability to get an early look at LMC and Sinnott in an AFC home game. And I do think that's a good point, K-Dot, where because of who you're going against, you can take more chances with promising pieces of your personnel, right? Because let's say you lost. It's not nearly as damaging as an NFC East loss, first and foremost, that division loss, and also a conference loss. So this is the least impactful. All the L's matter, obviously. But if you wanted to take an extra couple plays for these guys, you can. What's your reaction?
I'm past the point of giving them extra time. Like they should have been already. They've had opportunities.
Agreed, to be clear.
That's the thing. It's like I get what you're saying, but it like this point, it's like I'm planning to win these games, and if you haven't stepped up or show that you can do something, then you're not part of the plan.
Go to MF Quotes with a few more here. Facts. I was mad as shit. It's week 2. I'm good, but I was massively disappointed on Thursday. Here are a couple more. Good show. Share this. Says shit, but it should be wit. Now that we're changing that. And then MF Quotes, Gay needs to straighten up. I don't really put much of it, if anything. I know Matt Gay was like, this is totally my fault, which I don't necessarily need my kicker to take all the blame like that. Trotting him out for a 58-yarder was a highly risky decision, in my opinion, because we saw him in preseason. And yes, he had the length, but he's inconsistent, and it did give Green Bay an opportunity to get the ball at damn near midfield with a little bit of time left. I don't know. I think he will if we give him more manageable kicks. What do you think, K-Dot?
I don't respect the position. So if you got the one job and you say you can do that and you don't do it, I'm blaming you. So like the idea that they missed it, I'm putting it squarely on him. The idea of going for it in the first place is not because I think that he could or could not miss it. It's because it runs counter to who it is that we were as a team and organization the last year. And I think that we played with a certain mentality that got us there, right? So, like, that's my issue with it. But I'm sorry, but if a kicker whose only job is to do the one thing and he says he can do that thing, then I'm trusting you. And if you tell me and if you don't do it, then I'm blaming you. And that's just the way it works for me. And I get it. Some kickers are better than other kickers, and maybe you don't have a special kicker. It's been a game, but be honest with what it is you think you can and can't do. But right now, I know that I haven't trusted Matt Gay. I don't trust Matt Gay, but I haven't trusted any kicker.
I don't think anyone trusts Matt Gay except Adam Peters, who gave him the most guaranteed money on a 1-year deal. He's allowed to whiff on one here and there, obviously, just to be clear. This isn't like Adam Peters screwed up, but
he starts.
There's faith in the guy.
He starts at a deficit with me, is all I'm saying. It's like he starts where he's got to dig himself out of a hole as far as position, which actually didn't mention as far as on the preview stuff But another two scary, important things from a special team standpoint is Daniel Carson and also the punter they get, the punter and the kicker, the place kicker and the punter that they have right there are monsters as far from a field position standpoint, and they will murder you too.
Yeah. They're very good. Daniel Carlson, very, very good. And I believe what punter is AJ Cole?
That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So they're good. The special teams, their kickers are good. Now let's go over to Vindo. Let's go, Commanders. We will see you in the playoffs, Green Bay. So still, obviously expectations high. Hopefully we do get that opportunity to be able to see Green Bay in the playoffs because we want to play against the best. We want to beat the best. K-Dot, your reaction to that?
Yeah, I'd like to see it. But we got a lot of work to do. Green Bay looks like our last week was the best damn team in football. I don't think they're the best damn team in football. They're playing the best football any team in football.
Yeah. Greg Cole's shout out. Need more speed on defense. That's why we drafted Jordan McGee and Kane Medrano. Hope they can show out soon. Would be nice to see that depth come into play eventually, right? We got Bobby Wagner back on the 1-year deal, which is great, but there is going to be a succession plan, surely, and we need to begin seeing that. It's only week 3. There's time, but we need to see it soon. K-Dot, your reaction?
No, agreed completely. Especially Bobby missing that last week. It's one play. It's Bobby Wagner, but it's not something he usually does. So
Nope. And the final comment over here, K-Dot, from Vindo. With the knee injury, I can see wide receivers actually getting more targets. Hopefully that translates to Terry time. But guessing the thinking over there, K-Dot, is, hey, with the knee injury, can't move as much, so get rid of the ball quicker, is sort of the thinking I believe that Vindo's coming to. Your reaction to that?
I don't think Jayden knows when he can or can't do things.
There I completely agree. Completely. So in that respect, Vindo, I disagree only. Hold on. With the knee injury, I can see wide receivers getting more targets. Yeah, because if he doesn't play, then I think they will get more targets.
No, I do think Mariota's going to – I do think the design runs are coming back.
I'm curious to see if they come back, K-Dot, because he also had tendonitis, and he is beginning to feel more like himself. Does he already feel 100% to the point where you're like, we can just roll him out as if he was never hurt? Because
no, I don't think it'll be like that. It won't be reckless like that. But I do think that they can do some things and he can protect himself.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And that was the comment mailbag. This was the show. This was District Divided, a DC sports podcast. More specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I'm Amit, that's K-Dot. And if you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do. And K-Dot?
Hang on. I'm getting. Okay. Weird.
What?
I've been telling apparently there's some instructions that just came in to me.
Okay. What's up?
Second. I just gotta
wait, what? What's going on?
Well,
are you kidding?
All right. I've been told to read the following. Breaking news. Our nation's glorious administration have taken control of this network and terminated Brock Lombard for his un-American lies about a true patriot in A-Train. What some framed as chaos, we know as courage. Cue up photo 52.
Photo 52? Oh my gosh.
Here he is on the field, dominating, relentless, a symbol of American grit. Not a menace, but a hero. The smear campaign ends tonight. A-Train is the pride of this nation.
He's not.
Instead of vulgar words I typically say at this time, I will instead say, salute the train. Your patriotism demands it.
No, that's not true. What is this? Race to the... Oh, come on. And that's Acho and shit. Come on. Okay, we got to go. None of this is true. None of this is true. We love you guys. We greatly appreciate you guys. And we will see you post-game. I think we're going to do it live. So we'll see you on a live stream after the Raiders game. So until then, take it easy, everybody. K-Dot, what the hell is this?
I don't like any of this, man.
Okay.
Get your boy, JD Vant. Really? Is it happening?
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.